All right, what's up, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another edition of the daily live stream. Just decided to make that the Crypto Kirby intro for a second. How we all doing? Welcome to another live stream. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you smash those likes up as you come into this live stream. We've had some phenomenal price action over the last few days, and even though things are not as fresh anymore, this is actually where I am a lot more interested in the market. Like now, times like right now are actually where there are much better opportunities in the market. There are much better trading setups that are going to be presenting themselves in the market. So we're going to be talking about that in this live stream. Just going to wait for a couple more people to tune in here. Make sure as you're coming in that you do smash those likes up and tell me if the audio and video is looking good. So that I can get straight into all of this. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of comments to come in and tell me that everything's good to go. Nice consolidation ready for 70k. That definitely seems like what a lot of people are expecting here. Sounds good. Perfect. Very, very good. Everything's looking good on my side. Yeah, guys, thank you all. Another live stream here. Last one was 2 days ago. Super happy to be back with you all. I want to discuss this price action with you. We have seen some nice bits taking place in this market recently. Let's get this up to 100 likes, ladies and gents, just to start this show up. And here we go. So we managed to top out up here at about $64,000. Again, so strange that we even managed to come up this high. We've actually now seen a monthly candle close. So all eyes on this for a second, please, ladies and gents. This is an official monthly close. And bear with me, but we're going to check something very, very important. We're going to check something very, very important. Is this the highest monthly close Bitcoin has ever had? Let's take a look. It is not. It is not the highest. We were so close. We were so close, ladies and gents, to the highest monthly candle close in Bitcoin's history so far. Nearly there. We were nearly there. And that is the fourth highest wick in Bitcoin's history as well. So that is absolutely fantastic. Bitcoin is pumping. You guys are pumping. Let's absolutely get it, legends. Very, very cool indeed. If we take a look at this on the weekly, we have not finished this weekly candle just yet. But if we do take a look at this on the weekly, this is also going to clear all of our weekly closes if we hold this level from back in early 2021. And we're competing with just the last couple of candles up here in late 2021 as well for the weekly. So we're definitely on track for, a very, very significant weekly candle close. And we very nearly had an all-time high for the monthly candle close. So that is absolutely fantastic. Ladies and gents, thank you all for tuning in to this live stream. As usual, we're going to be going through my analysis and your questions in this one. If you are excited for this, do me a favor and smash those likes up. Last live stream was amazing. It was super, super cool. We had like 1,500 viewers, more than 500 likes. It actually peaked at probably like 1,000, which is amazing. I love you guys so much. Thank you all for the engagement and support. Today, I've got pretty much unlimited time, so I'm happy to chill with you all for as long as we're good here. So yeah, let's definitely smash them up if you're excited for this one, if you're getting value out of these streams. And let's start zooming in now. Let's take a closer look at what has actually been taking place in this market. It right now has been trading sideways since that high at $64,000. And to me, that is the best thing this Bitcoin chart could produce. It is a bit of sideways price action. There's two ways that we can correct, right? And we've obviously spoken about this a lot. Those of you that are subscribed are going to be super familiar with this. It is either a price-based correction, which we'll talk about some of these key levels I've identified right here, or a time-based correction. And that is something which we are potentially in the middle of right now, potentially looking a little bit like this. So, there's two different types of corrections we want to produce in this market. We don't necessarily get to choose which one. And, sometimes, often in very bullish markets, you don't even print price-based corrections. At best, you just trade sideways because the bulls won't even let the price drop. because as soon as the price reaches some sort of local low, they're buying it back up. So that's very bullish body language, especially for a coin like Bitcoin. And what that also means is, yeah, you're probably more poised for the upside. Shout out to Sean in the comments. Smash the likes, people. Yeah, we are closing in on 100. Let's get this thing up to 100 and just really warm this stream up. Thank you all very much for tuning in here. And we've got a nice little pump forming on Bitcoin right now as well. If we take a look at this on the hourly, we're doing pretty well. I mean, this is a really nice chart at the moment. Again, we're getting that really clean kind of sideways range. We've got a potential top zone right here sitting at about $63,000. So very, very nice to see that indeed. A nice little wick up there at 64, basically bang on 64. Let's actually just move this up to the actual wick, so 64.1. You could say, well, what was the high? Let's actually take a look here on Coinbase. It was exactly 64.1. So we've got a nice kind of range starting to develop here. We can drop another line, you know, kind of marking the bottom of the range, which I think you could, you know, fairly say is basically around over here. You know, at the moment, as long as this range holds, this is going to be the short, this is going to be the long. You know, and then you'd be looking for stop losses beyond these wicks. You know, very, very nice and simple, very, very easy. Those of you who are curious, you are going to be receiving phenomenal offers when you check out the link in the description down below to Bybit, who are currently offering you all a free $500 position where you can go long or short, and any profits you generate from that position are yours to keep. So that is absolutely phenomenal, an incredibly rare, valuable offer, well worth checking out if you like the idea of trading with free money. It's literally just like your friend giving you money, which is super, super cool. Of course, if you want something a little bit more exciting, BingX, which is also linked down below, is going to be offering you all over $100,000 in bonuses right here, and it is a no KYC exchange as well. So that's cool. They've also got access to traditional finance markets, so lots of really cool stuff going on here. Check out the Bybit link if you want that free position. BingX for a brilliant alternative. CoinW is another no KYC alternative. It's another strong option with more free money just for signing up, so you get free trades that you can check out. Thank you all for smashing those likes up, very close to 100 likes right here. And I want to talk to you about kind of zooming in on what these corrections could look like before continuing up. Obviously, before we get there, if this thing does continue higher, it is worth noting, and we've already discussed this at length, but it's worth covering it again at this stage, that Bitcoin has no more resistance, okay? If we look at this wick right here, there is nothing on this chart. This wick is represented by this yellow line. Let's actually make this a nice thick yellow line so we know which one we're talking about. Let's go for that. There's nothing going on this chart above this wick. There's a little wick peeking its head above this line right here. There is a fake out here, and obviously a nice big fake out here on the weekly. But broadly speaking, really nothing going on. There's only one candle close above the high that we set a couple of days ago. And that to me really is a strong indication that actually, you know, we are in a situation in this market where, you know, we're actually at the top, you know, I mean, more or less, like it almost doesn't matter if we get to 67, 69K, 70K, whatever, like we are there right now, you know, and that's definitely interesting. So if we are going to continue the trend, I don't know where it can stop. You know, I'm hearing numbers like 66, and that's probably because this is around the price where the previous candles closed, but I really don't think you can pick out a level at this stage. It's just, you know, whoever's best guess, you know, I mean, I don't even think it's worth discussing those kind of things. A lot of people will do that, and they're just, you know, they're just mental masturbation exercises, and you really got to see these things for what they're worth. A lot of people come up to me and they're like, well, where do you think Bitcoin's going to be by the end of this year? And it's like, well, I don't fucking know. Like, how am I supposed to know that, dude? Like, I've got to, in order to predict where Bitcoin's going to be at the end of the year, I've got to predict what Bitcoin's going to be at the end of this month, and then at the end of next month, and then at the end of next month, and it's just ridiculous. It's a completely meaningless exercise. You know, so I don't really interest myself, you know, entertain myself with ideas like that. That's just all just, you know, fun hypothetical conversations, but nothing at all in a serious context. And obviously, I'm pretty serious about these markets because I want to make money off them, right? So, it does pay to be serious, and ask the right questions. And for me, the right question is always just, what is the next move and how can I position myself to make money off it? Because you can't really make money off a move, which has yet to even happen or which is going to happen in a very long time. So I think that is definitely quite important to be keeping in mind here. Now, if we do kind of take it back here, like I said, I don't see any kind of resistance for Bitcoin. It's basically a brand new all-time high, save for, just another wick, up here and then coming back down. And if we do actually print that, I think that'd be the most bearish thing Bitcoin could do because it would show us that we're slowing down. Now, this is really important, and this is one of the things that nobody is paying attention to right now. This is the gold that you come to the Fourth Life channel for. We want to actually analyze how this thing can start to blunder, what kind of blunders it can produce, what kind of problems can start showing up so that you and I can identify them and take action accordingly if they show up. Now, so far, I think it looks pretty good. It looks very strong so far, especially on the short term. And like I said, we're going to get to that in just a second. Thank you for smashing those likes up. We're up to 100. You absolute legends. I think that we've done incredibly well so far. I'm going to zoom in and take a very close, intimate look at that. But there are certain ways that this could go very badly. And if you are able to spot them, you're going to be able to protect yourself from them very well. And one of the key things that you've got to keep in mind at this stage is right here, for example, on the weekly time frame, we have slowed. We have been going very quickly now. So if we end up slowing down, that can be a significant sign that a pullback is about to come. Let me demonstrate that for you all. Now, over here, we had this massive weekly candle, right? We're actually just analyzing the behavior of the market, and that's why this is actually really successful and generally a very useful thing to do in the market. All we're doing is we're looking at the fact that this first candle right here was a nice big explosion, yeah? The second candle, a little bit smaller, and the last candle, clearly a lot weaker than the beginning of this trend. Very, very useful to see that, right? We're seeing that there was a massive explosion here on the breakout, followed by a little bit less follow through, followed by lesser still, over here. So that's a really interesting sign that things could be about to slow down. And of course, that's exactly what happens. And this weekly chart is a little bit misleading because it actually prints a massive pullback for Bitcoin down from $24,000 to $19,000. This is actually where I entered my Bitcoin long position as well, the one which is still open, the one which is in like 1800% profit or something absolutely insane like that. Of course, also traded on Bybit, which you can check out linked down below. Absolutely phenomenal exchange. So these things give us really good indications. Again, here's another example directly afterwards. We get a nice big explosion candle. Things start to slow down, and guess what happens? We enter consolidation. We get an explosion, but immediately things start to slow down. Guess what happens? We pull back. Over here, we've got a similar setup. We get a nice big explosion. Things start to slow down. This time, we're a lot more bullish, so we're not pulling back, and we're not trading sideways. Instead, we're trading up, but slightly more slowly. And that is a key characteristic that Bitcoin actually produces, which you're going to be very well aware of on this YouTube channel, because what that means is Bitcoin has had an explosive rally to the upside, and instead of cooling off, instead of trading sideways, instead of moving down a little bit, the bulls they're still pushing this while they're recovering, but they're pushing it a lot slower. It's still a correction. It's an incredibly rare correction. In traditional finance, it's actually a very bad sign. For Bitcoin, generally speaking, very strong sign in this market. So Bitcoin started to produce this typical correction pattern. Then we continue the upside. Again, here's another bearish candle. Here's another candle where Bitcoin loses. Take note, right? Bitcoin doesn't have any pullbacks this entire way up. This candle, we get a pullback, and this is the beginning of a consolidation, which also includes a 20% correction. So it's very, very clear, ladies and gents, when we start producing weekly candles that start showing a little bit of weakness, that start showing a little bit of a slowdown, typically, this is actually the only exception, by the way, typically that is exactly before a pullback or correction of some sort begins. So here's where we can start to be ahead of the game. These are things that nobody is going to be spotting. If we see, this is absolutely elite stuff. You guys that are here at sub 400 viewers, you you are really in on something right now. Not many people are hearing this. Do me a favor and smash up those likes if you are appreciating this, because you're going to be able to see now that if we start to slow down, if we start to correct, look, here's the thing, right? If we're going to maintain this kind of bullish stance, then we either need to correct and then continue up, which is the healthiest way, or we need to go fucking parabolic. And if we need to go parabolic, we're not going to stop, right? The nature of a parabola, it doesn't include corrections which are healthy and sensible on the way up, right? That's not usually how it happens. They do happen if you zoom out large enough, and I can even show you examples of that, but that's not what you're looking for in a parabola. In a parabola, you're looking for crazy turns into crazier, which turns into crazier and crazier and crazier and so on. And if we start to print corrections here where things start to slow down, then actually that can be a sign, especially now that we know this market is so overextended, that things do need to start pulling back and reeling in a little bit. I'm actually curious, if we go ahead and take a measured move, does this match up what we did last time? No, not quite. We actually got a little bit higher than this. So that's definitely interesting. But so that's kind of where we would start to potentially see a bit of a correction. And then it's about, well, where is this correction going to go down to? And, there's a lot of different ways we can discern that. Obviously, I think one of the easiest ways is looking at, well, where did we find resistance on the way up? Yeah, so we obviously found a bit of resistance up here. We found a bit of resistance up here, or I should say down there, because now the 40K range is below us. So we found a little bit of resistance at these kind of levels. And ladies and gents, if you are just tuning in, please do me a favor and rewind the live stream, because you've already missed some absolutely critical nuggets of gold. You can watch it on 2x speed, whatever you need to do, but definitely rewind. Otherwise, you're going to be missing out on crucial context. These are the kind of areas of resistance that we encountered. Another one right here at 52, obviously. So those are your kind of, reasonable, expected, safe bounce zones in the market, right? And this entire area would be your bounce zone. And these are kind of where, you'd be, if you're in a short, a lot of short traders are going to be taking their profits at these levels. A lot of people who are bullish are going to be buying at these levels, depending on their level of aggression. You've got the more conservative people buying here. You've got the slightly more aggressive people buying here, and you've got the very aggressive people buying here. And it really just kind of comes down to your view on the market. And kind of where you see this. And then obviously there's other dynamics that come into play, which we can cover in a little bit. Like, if we are going to have a strong correction, then the more conservative people are going to be in luck. But a lot of the time we actually front run these levels, so we might not actually get that low. Or a lot of the time we overshoot these levels and we stop positions out. A lot of people who've built their longs up over here, well, if we get this wick down, their longs are closed, and then we send it up. And obviously they've shorted down here, and now their shorts are closed, so you got fucked on both sides. Welcome back to the crypto world, ladies and gents. Smash up those likes. Absolutely beautiful stuff. So take a shot every time I said that in this live stream. That's what we'd expect to see, with that kind of a correction. There's lots of different ways we can navigate that, and we'll talk about all of that in a little bit. But let's take a look at this Fibonacci retracement here. Now, one thing which I think is very interesting, and we've already kind of covered a little bit of this, is the, so actually I didn't cover this with you. No, it's the 4-hour time frame. You've got a very small amount of support right here at the 58K level. This chart is the 1 hour, in fact, instead. And with this little Fibonacci retracement, there is another very speculative kind of buy zone at about the 58K level. There is a 618 retracement bang on at that $52,000 range. So that definitely is starting to build a little bit of confluence up for us. And showing us that there could be some kind of support down there. And by the way, if we do zoom in, you can already see that a correction may have started. We've already kind of started to pull back a little bit. We're falling into our EMA ribbon on the hourly, so very, very short term, but it is on the hourly. And one of the things that this means now is, we've got certain levels where if we break them, we might start getting in trouble, right? And I've already kind of outlined what those levels look like, but it is basically, the bottom of these, kind of ranges, right? Like if you lose this wick and you start getting below, like I said, you probably have your stop loss here because, you'd account for some, not you, but like a lot of people probably would, to account for some kind of overshooting action like that. And then we kind of recover back up. But generally speaking, losing this kind of price level with conviction would mean that we're actually setting lower lows. Yeah, our lows are actually getting lower. So that would be your first sign of concern that things are starting to get bad. Obviously, you'd start printing lower highs as well, and then you can start to say you're in a downtrend. And then on the flip side, the reason this is so beautiful is that it would actually start printing a phenomenal descending channel, and that is something we're going to talk about in just a sec as well. But as you start to lose these kind of levels, what could end up happening is that you lose them with more and more aggression, so that even though we might have a pattern that looks like this, if you fall down here and then fall below this range, you can't make the argument that we're in a bullish range anymore because we collapsed below it. So that's a really bad sign. That's when you know that things are probably going to be pretty heavy on their way down. So definitely something that I would be paying attention to in this market. Now, another way that we could be correcting, before I get onto some really exciting macro style analysis, aren't these levels too aggressive? Good question, dude. I think they are. I think they're all too aggressive, and I'm going to talk to you guys about the 30K range as well in a little bit, because I'm most interested in the 30K range. I don't know if we're going to get it, but I certainly cannot rule it out at this stage. There is also the possibility, though, on this short-term chart for the price to just go sideways, and that's been Bitcoin's correction style over the last weeks. If we take a look at Bitcoin at the $52,000 range, we did have a very small price-based correction, but for the most part, we were just trading sideways. And that's your very, very clear sign that, again, the market is quite bullish and very aggressive, and it does want to break up. So like I said, we're already starting to do that. We saw that as well from the end of January bleeding into the beginning of February, where we did the exact same thing at the $43,000 price range, $44,000 price range. So absolutely phenomenal, showing us very clearly that this is a strong pattern that Bitcoin has been producing lately. And a lot of the time, that actually makes these patterns more reliable. So again, people who are a little bit more bullish are going to be interested in things like that taking place at the moment. Let's go through a couple of questions before I carry on with some of the analysis, because I haven't looked at this comment section much. If you do have questions, do me a favor and drop them in the live chat down below. We've got Josh watching on mobile, and it's perfect. Thank you very much, Josh. Welcome to the live stream. Mohammed is asking me, do I still think we're going down? Good question, bro. Yes, I'm still leaning toward the possibility of Bitcoin dropping. I can definitely see why there are very strong arguments that I'm wrong. And fortunately, it doesn't matter for me because I'm mega long right now. I'm so fucking long in this market. I've been long since 21, and I'm heavily spot in Bitcoin. So if it keeps going up, then brilliant, I make money, and if it drops, then even better because I can buy more Bitcoin. So I don't see a lose situation personally. So I'm not too invested in which way it goes in particular. There isn't a bad way, but I do still think that we're more likely to drop, and I think I'm going to cover that with you as we go on in this live stream, as well as one of the key ideas, that I want to discuss with you all in this live stream. Guys, it's crazy how quickly these live streams go. We're already 20 minutes in. This is the size of a normal video for me, and I'm not even, what am I, like, I'm not even like 30% done with I'm like 30% done with my notes, and that's before even looking at altcoins or anything else. One sec, guys. Let's take a look at a couple more comments, and if you do have more, then do me a favor and drop them in the live chat. This is my favorite part about live streams, ladies and gents, is actually talking to you guys in the live chat. Thanks for getting us up to 167. Let's move up to 200 likes if we can. I think we did hit like 500 during the last live stream, so that would be absolutely fantastic. If you are finding these lives useful, Jamila, Sammy, your analysis is awesome. Thank you very, very much. This screen is so far away from me. I actually need to zoom in a little bit. Let's see what else we've got here in the comments. Can I talk about Doge? Yeah, I will talk about Doge, actually. Let's take a very quick look at Doge right now. There's obviously a little bit of hype surrounding meme coins right now. They are doing very well compared to before at similar points in market cycles. And we're definitely seeing that taking place here. Doge is at one of its quite heavy macro resistance areas right now. If it is able to break it, then I'd be looking at it rising up to the next area, which is about 27% away, and we can demonstrate that by drawing a nice big line right there. And we don't need it to be so thick, do we? So let's make that a little bit thinner. To me, this line it lines up with our resistance from November of 22. So I believe that was FTX, and also the highs of April of 22, the support right here of the end of 2021 and so on. So very, very important level for Doge. And I think that if we're able to kind of, overcome this, then this is going to be our next key level. I'd be surprised if we break that on the first attempt. Hopefully that's at a minimum is where we start to get a large correction if we don't get one before we get there. That's what I would be wanting in order to see Doge performing even better. So that's one of the things that I'll be looking at. Let's take a look at a couple more comments before I get back to more of my Bitcoin analysis with you all in this live stream today. Again, thank you all for tuning in, ladies and gents. Always brilliant to be on these streams. How much profit do I have? Well, I'm up like 1,800%. I don't know the dollar percent. I don't know the dollar number, but it's really big. I've pulled like a minimum of like 3x on my trade. It can go, okay, these aren't really comments. What is the average percent drop pre-halving? Good question. We'll take a look at that in a minute on the BLX chart. I don't think it's like particular. We'll take a look at it right now. I don't think it's particularly important. We're more interested in what that crash would be. I've already illustrated for you all what a 40% drop looks like. Puts us into this 30K zone really nicely, and this is one of my favorite price zones for Bitcoin. So that would be really nice to see Bitcoin return there. And I've also demonstrated for you all what a 30% drop would put us at, which is about the $44,000 level. So both levels line up with very strong confluence on this chart. And so that would be really cool if this was the high. If we take a look at this Black Swan COVID crash that happened right before the halving, that was a 60% drop. We're not going to pay too much attention to that because it's a little bit too, unique of an event. Right before the halving, we had a 30% drop, but to complete the drop, it fell all the way down to 40%, which is about the largest correction Bitcoin usually has within an uptrend. Again, seeing that taking place right here. If we move back to 2012, what did we have here? This was about a 50% correction off memory. So 50% drop right there. So, I think we're working with they're big drops, they're not small drops. Some people have called it like the pre-halving dip or the pre-halving, trip or whatever. This is a big drop, like a 40%, 30% is still pretty large, 50%. They've never been small, put it that way. And they have happened 100% of the time. And by the way, if we don't count the COVID crash, and instead we look at the crash which happened before it, we're still looking at a 50% drop from that 14K level down to this 6K level. Again, I think this is the relevant one because it's a lot closer to the halving in terms of when it started, just 3 months before. And now we're very, very close to the halving. So it's also, and I think this is something which a lot of people are kind of tripping over. Sometimes the drop happens before the halving. A lot of the times it happens before the halving. But in this situation, we started the drop before the halving, and then we completed it after the halving, right? So if you kind of went into it, I mean, you couldn't have because there wasn't enough data, but if you went into it saying that the drop is done, we're ready to moon, this would have been a very big problem for you. So, it's worth noting and really being quite, acutely aware that, we can still have our correction after the halving takes place. We're not out of the woods. When was this? Let's take a look at this. Halving was here. Correction ended 1 month later. We're not out of the woods until at least, at minimum, according to what happened before, at minimum, for another month after the halving, right? So if we kind of put that on this chart, that gives us, over here, kind of mid-May, to produce that drop or at least start it. And if you're looking at this market, I think in a more realistic perspective, you'd actually have to extend that out by another month. So about mid-June over here, anyway, and this is a lot of time for the price to why can I not speak? Wow. To drop. That's why, because it's a bit of a difficult thing to say, to drop. Not that hard. I don't know. So that's a lot of time for things to start dropping in this chart. And so I really wouldn't start getting too cocky about, like the pre-halving crash isn't happening because the ETF narrative is here. It's the most stupid fucking idea I've heard ever. It's not the most stupid idea I've ever heard because XRP still exists, but it's pretty high up there, because it's just your absolutely typical cope that everybody kind of buys into. I'm sorry, ladies and gents, I've just been here for long enough, 7 years, to know better than to kind of drink the Kool-Aid and believe the hype. That is just well and truly how I feel about this market. Ladies and gents, if you are enjoying this live stream, do me a favor and smash up those likes. Double check that you're subscribed as well. Let's go through a couple more questions before we continue with the core analysis of this live stream. Definitely some good questions here, ladies and gents. If you've got more, please do drop them in the live chat. Is it bad time to open any positions? I'm not going to answer that, bro. I'm not your financial advisor. Let's see what else we've got here. Do you think we wick above the all-time high and then go down? I considered it. I did consider the possibility that Bitcoin actually prints a nice big wick above our all-time high, like coming up to about over here, like 71, 75k, and then comes back down. I think that's a very strong possibility considering how cocky the bulls are, and considering that I think now things are a little bit better, but over the last days, the long-short ratio has been way too bearish. We've seen too many people going short, right? Okay, yeah, so yeah, right now we've got more longs in the market, but I mean, up until recently, it was majority bearish for a long time. Sentiment is probably still quite high. Let's take a look at this right here. We've got 80 and 76 last week. So I mean, it's all just popping off right now. Still an extreme greed, right? So we've definitely got the numbers to support this thing in both ways, the long short ratio and the fear and greed index to support it dropping. But look at the possibility of the price kind of coming up here to 71. Like, how many people are going to go long? Like, we're talking about it right now as armchair experts, while the price action hasn't actually happened. But just sit and close your eyes for a second and just imagine what, just while, you've got beautiful Sammy's voice narrating a possible hypothetical situation for you, just sit and imagine that the price of Bitcoin has managed to rise up above $64,000. We're at $65,000 and we've cleared the high and a bit of FOMO is setting in, but we keep going up and now we're at $66,000, and you open up Twitter and Facebook and Coinbase is going down again, and you're really starting to feel that FOMO. $67,000, it just looks like a guaranteed thing. It's probably going to happen in the next hour or two that we break the all-time high, so you start buying, you start seeing a lot of longs building up. Meanwhile, there were a lot of shorts that were building up in this range that we're in right now, so those shorts are starting to get stopped out. How do you close a short position? You got to buy it back, right? So you're pushing the order book up even more. When you buy, that means you're buying whatever's available, and if the only Bitcoins available are $69,000, you're going to have to buy those Bitcoins. So the price moves up even further, and then that triggers more FOMO, and before you know it, you're at $71,000, and a shitload of long positions have opened, and that is your perfect opportunity to smash this thing down. I actually think that if we go up to the all-time high, like I'm going to have to judge sentiment, right? But I think, judging by everything I've seen so far, there's so much euphoria already. A little bit premature. I don't think we deserve that euphoria yet. I think this is actually a really big deal. But typically in market cycles like this, you don't get to euphoria this quick. I mean, I'm paying attention here, ladies and gents. I'm really kind of taking a step back and just watching how people are behaving. I want you to tell me what you think in this live chat down below. But do you think the euphoria is reasonable yet? Just tell me the euphoria is reasonable or we're too early. Write either of those two comments. I want to know what you think in the live chat, but I personally think that it would be a phenomenal setup for this price action to start crashing pretty hard if we end up kind of rising up above that $70,000 price level, building some more longs there, and then we send it down very low. And if that happens, it's going to go probably very low, like, $50K, $40K. Like, I would expect a significant $20,000, $30,000 drop, hopefully quite quickly. The quicker the better, because if it's quick, that means we'll probably finish it quickly as well. So that would be really good to see. I'm in the same spot, profits in, but still enough in the game. I mean, Matthias, I honestly think that that's the healthiest, most financially responsible position to be in right now. That's why I've taken it. I've spoken to a couple of other players. I mean, typically the absolute degenerates of the crypto world are going to act like taking profits is a fucking treacherous sin. a treasonous sin, and you should be burned at the stake for it. But anybody with, any fucking financial hygiene is gonna know that taking profits, cannot make you more poor, and it's actually generally very good, just at a minimum, just as a principle. So I think you're on board with that, Matthias, and I do respect that. Where am I looking to take a trade? I will cover that with you all shortly in this live stream. Why talk about the 30K range as we're at 62.4? Well, because the $30,000 range remains unchanged, untested. And that doesn't mean we have to test it, but it would be a very bullish sign if we manage to get down there and then get a nice bounce back up. I don't know if that's actually going to happen. I actually think that, it's potentially a little bit too far now. But what I also know is that if things do start getting scary and a big drop starts being produced on the chart, all of this bullish sentiment you're seeing, all of this euphoria is going to flip upside down so fucking quick. It's going to be so extreme. You're just going to wake up one day and wonder what the hell happened. And that kind of fear can definitely drive the market lower, much lower than you think, much faster than you think. So that's why I always just kind of like to keep a very open mind about these things. 32K level is important because of healthy or unhealthy market structure. Yeah, it's a similar thing there. I'm too scared to buy, but afraid to miss out on a 250K Bitcoin. Bitcoin should be bullish with the ETFs and halving. I get you, dude. Too scared to buy, but afraid to miss out. That is definitely what this price action feels like right now. Crypto Sam, this will be the black swan. Well, Crypto Sam, unfortunately, the nature of black swans is that you can't predict them. If you can predict them, they're not a black swan, and that's why these are not black swan events. We're starting to lose meaning with words if we apply them to situations like this. Let's see what else we've got here in the comments before I come back. I want to see if you guys think that we're too early for this kind of sentiment, or if it makes sense. You look great, Sammy. Thank you very much, dude. Really appreciate it. Is Solana worth it? We're going to cover Solana in a little bit. I'm definitely interested. Yeah, you guys seem to think it's too early for this kind of euphoria, and I agree. I mean, we were down at $30,000 fucking like 2 months ago. Come on, ladies and gents, let's be real about this. Like, it is quite early to be, celebrating at the doorstep of a brand new all-time high, I think. I mean, it's definitely, definitely quite rushed on this occasion. And again, like, there is that ETF narrative that everybody's hiding behind to say that this is reasonable. But I don't think that it's going to be as simple as a bit of fundamental information that everybody can access in the news, which is highly manipulated, is going to be, what everybody. It just, to me, like, that's just not how these things work. You've got to be new to the game. If you think that, a widely accessible bit of information that the average Joe can access and make money off is actually going to last and be something that actually makes sense. I mean, I've seen this play out so many times. When the average guy thinks he's got very strong reasons to be continuing to make some money, it's just, right before he gets humbled. Doesn't mean it's got to happen, but I mean, I don't really see exceptions to it. Yes, I agree. This is a true psychological level around 70K. I'm bearish at these levels. For me, it's hard to be more bullish. Again, the reason, and I said this on my Telegram channel, like, I am quite bearish overall, expecting a pullback. My bearishness only means that we're going to have an easier time going up. So I'd actually say I'm much more bullish, but like short term, I'd still love to see a correction. We're going to talk about all of that in a sec as well anyway. But, I do think that, it's one of those kind of fringe opinions. I've been getting laughed at and called a clown for taking profits. They must be new. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. That is happening a lot. And I've learned this so well, when you're doing something that is conservative and that makes sense in a traditional finance environment, for example. That's the wrong way to describe it. But when you're just doing something that's financially responsible and people laugh at you for it, especially crypto traders, they're so fucking stupid, bro. You want to be laughed at by them because they'll still be laughing at you driving their fucking Prius and you'll be in a nice new McLaren or something. So, who the hell cares? Damn, I miss Crypto Kirby. Me too, bro. You and me both. Let's see what else we've got here in the comments before I come back. Everybody thinks we're too early. It's been too fast to get to this euphoria stage in this market. It is strange. It is strange. Ethereum analysis. Yeah, so let's come back to the chart here. We'll get to Ethereum in just a sec. I want to cover with you guys a really interesting chart. Before I continue, ladies and gents, thank you all for smashing those likes up. We've just blown past 200. Let's get this thing up to 300, 400, 500 likes. I'd love to see 500 before I go off on this live stream tonight. So if you haven't already, but if you're enjoying the content or if you just like me for any reason, then please do me a favor and tap that button right there to hit the like button up. Obviously double check that you're subscribed. Many of you guys watch this content regularly, but you're not subscribed, which means that you will miss it when it's time sensitive. So definitely take care of that as well. Let me show you a chart which is really interesting. This is definitely something that you're gonna like, and this is a macro resistance chart demonstrating that Bitcoin has been in an ascending channel for a very long time, which actually has a bearish breakout target. However, we've pumped out of it, right? And this is actually very interesting because it had a target of about $28,000, but instead of breaking down, Bitcoin's actually managed to break out of this channel, and that is actually a very, very interesting pattern to take place in this market, because this is very familiar. This is actually what happened back in 2020, 2021, when we got the real breakout for Bitcoin back here. We formed the exact same pattern. We came off a massive, massive downtrend, or in this case, just a very quick flash crash. We entered a massive ascending channel on the weekly. Okay, take a look at this, a massive ascending channel on the weekly, and we pumped right out of it, and we pulled a 3.37x gain from that breakout point. So very, very strong sign in this market, showing you that Bitcoin was able to break out of a phenomenal pattern with a very explosive breakout as well. So we're basically on the edge of that happening again. If we manage to pull off a similar increase, 46k, 237%, well, the same percentage gain would put us right on the doorstep of $200,000, ladies and gents. DJ Seafair subscribed after watching your Moon Show. Thank you very much, dude. This is actually I'm actually probably going to be going back on the Moon Show, hopefully just in a couple of days, so I'll see you guys there as well. But yeah, really, really nice big breakout here, potentially just about to begin. Definitely does not line up with the bearish analysis I'm giving you, but that's kind of the point of this YouTube channel, because while I'm definitely going to tell you what I'm thinking, I'm also going to tell you why I might be wrong, because this is what I do in my own analysis too. In my own analysis as a trader who's trying to move toward objectivity, this is actually a very interesting subject. You want to be completely objective in your analysis right up until the second where you take a trade. And when you take a trade, you want to be very subjective, because if you remain objective, you'll never make a trade. And if you're subjective, you'll finally be in a position. So it's an interesting kind of, dichotomy. And it's one which is not easy to learn how to balance. But if you are able to kind of pick those skills up, that's going to serve you very well. That is actually something which we cover quite nicely in the Four Flies VIP package. Many of you guys that join are going to be getting a Four Flies Academy course free of charge, and that actually covers very, very important subjects. That kind of look like that as well. So you're definitely going to find that useful if you're looking for some material to learn about the market. Now, let's come back here to the charts, this potential breakout point. If we do end up producing this breakout, bear with me guys, if we do end up producing this breakout, you would be looking at a really, really nice big rise. It would also take us above this all-time high, and like I said, on the note of kind of being objective, in order for me to feel confident in my analysis, I need to be able to poke holes in it. I need to be able to kind of challenge myself, and then despite those challenges, still feel pretty confident that my conclusion is good. And if I don't feel confident that my conclusion is good, then I'm going to probably change my conclusion. And that's how I can actually prevent myself from losing money, which is the number one objective of any trader. Okay, you can't fill water into a bucket with a hole in it. Very, very important concept, which you will be paid for remembering if you do choose to remember it. Just learning, always learning. I appreciate your view always, bro. Thank you very, very much, Sean. That is exactly the approach to be taking in these markets. Any targets for Fetch? I was actually looking at Fetch a little bit recently. I'll take a look at that later on as well. If you are tuning in, ladies and gents, do me a favor and rewind the live stream. Go right back to the beginning. I'm trying not to repeat anything, so you're going to see a lot of very, very important information, which you will never access again if you don't rewind it. So definitely take that into account. So immediate next steps for Bitcoin, a bit of sideways price action, right? I mean, a little bit more of this correction. Let us catch up with some of these indicators. This is only the 1 hour. This is still a very aggressive view of the market, but this could definitely be one of the things that pays Bitcoin quite well. And a slightly less bullish, but still quite bullish argument for Bitcoin is, we kind of start to trend a little bit lower, come down to capture some support right here, for example, in the 56 range or really anywhere. And if that does end up taking place, sending us even down toward 42, this would actually be a very bullish pattern in the grand scheme of things. So definitely something that I would love to see. We've got, lots and lots of confluence in this range right here. For example, the 1-day EMA ribbon, which really goes to show us that on various different time frames, regardless of how much Bitcoin corrects, it's going to have very good support going down for quite some time. And it really just depends on, which stage of the trend is in charge, right? Like if we're looking at a, midterm, long-term, short-term correction, we'd probably be bouncing off levels accordingly. So that is very, very cool. Now, let's take a quick look at Ethereum and some of the altcoins, a bit of traditional finance. If we've got more questions, then please drop them in the comments below. I actually want to look at the S&P 500 before all of that because we're on the last trading session for the S&P 500 and it ends in the next 2 hours. We're live right now. So that's going to be probably after this live stream is over, depending on how long we go for. And we are pushing up to a brand new all-time high today at 51.38. So a very strong S&P 500 right now. Definitely a key indicator that the wider markets in general are pretty healthy right now. And I'm sure that we're starting to see some of that strength also reflected in NVIDIA stock, which has been so interesting to track in this recent market cycle. We're at $820 right there. I'm pretty sure, I can't confirm this for sure, but I'm pretty sure NVIDIA is actually available to trade on BingX, which is a phenomenal no KYC alternative to Bybit, where you can trade traditional finance markets as well. So check that out. You're going to get over $100,000 in bonuses. Bybit, you're going to get up to $30K in completely free trading capital. Any profits you generate with that money are yours to keep. I've got to stress, you're not going to get anything from Bybit if you haven't done KYC. So that means uploading documents, verifying that you're a legitimate person. So you're going to have to do that. If you've already signed up to Bybit, but you haven't done your KYC, pause the live stream now, take care of that. It is super quick. It takes like 2 minutes and you will get paid for it, which is super, super cool. Until you do that, you're not going to be able to reap any of these benefits from Bybit, unfortunately. But they are well worth it. Like this $500 position here on Bitcoin, again, it's just a free long or a free short. Doesn't matter. And any profits that you generate are yours to keep. You can snowball that. You can withdraw that. Whatever you like. Very, very, very cool indeed. So definitely worth checking that out. Let's take a couple more questions in the comments and take a look at some more of the altcoins afterwards as well. Got pretty strong calls for Ethereum actually, so I'm just going to take a look at that right now. Yeah, Ethereum is looking pretty strong actually, pretty strong. Ethereum's rallying up right now by the looks of it. Yeah, a little bit. It's set its all-time high at 35. We're only about $70 away from that. It's got very heavy macro resistance up ahead. So this is something which I think is worth keeping in mind right now. I think there's quite likely going to be some profit taking starting to happen around these price levels. And I think that's why we actually topped out right here. This was a very brief pit stop for Ethereum, at about 3,600 very far back in 2021. We saw a couple of wicks for support here. We saw a clear resistance rejection followed by another, followed by even more support and more resistance. So This is definitely an important price level for Ethereum. If we break this level, then I don't see any more resistance on this chart. Again, you could cherry pick and say that there's little areas here, whatever, but I don't believe that. I don't think that there's anything particularly strong or heavy for Ethereum up ahead anymore, other than what is directly in front of it. So that is going to be something interesting. Yeah, let's take a look at Swissborg super quickly. I haven't looked at Swissborg for a very long time. Where do I find a chart for Swissborg? There is no proper chart for Swissborg. That's really weird. I'm going to have to look at that later. I don't know why I can't find a chart for Swissborg. We'll take a look at a couple more questions, then I think continue on with the altcoin analysis. Thank you all for engaging with the stream. If you have been enjoying it, ladies and gents, I really do appreciate it. Where are we at right now? We're at 270 likes. Yeah, let's get this up to 300, nice and easy. We're only about 30 away, so that's super cool. Funding is crazy high. If I've missed any of your questions, please repost them in the comments. We're still due for a 40% dip eventually. I completely agree, man. Completely agree. Bybit I can't leverage. I live in the United States. Yeah, if you live in the United States, you can't use any of the exchanges I'm talking about. That's just a legal thing, unfortunately. There are exchanges that work for you, but no leverage products, unfortunately. The US government knows better than God forbid you walk into a casino and a crypto derivatives exchange. You know, you definitely can't do the crypto derivatives exchange, but casinos are good. The ones where you're rigged to lose money. So you can take that up with the federal government, Mr. Biden. I believe that probably actually happened. It was probably outlawed during the Trump administration, though, wasn't it? Yeah, it would have been. Not that it's anything to do with Trump or Biden. It's more the SEC, but yeah, not available in those countries. So if you are in those countries, you can't use them, unfortunately. What are your thoughts on HBAR? We'll take a look at a couple altcoins specifically. I just want to go through more general questions in this live chat before I continue on. I've got to look for Borg. Okay, thank you. I guess they've rebranded. Let me take a very quick look for Borg USDT. Is it actually Borg, though? Oh, damn. Nice. Nice pump. I guess this is the right token. Yeah, well, I can't do any TA on this because there's no price history. But, I mean, you know, Swissborg is a very, you know, like, fundamental, news-driven token at this stage, isn't it? So, yeah, I can't really... Are you sure this is the right coin? I don't know. But, can't really give you a whole lot of analysis on this because it's, you know, just very, you know, it's probably super liquid right now. Super liquid. When long liquidations, do me a favor and rewind the live stream so you don't miss out on what I'm saying, because I have already covered that just recently, but you want to watch the whole thing. Solana 1K. Wow, that's optimistic. Yeah, sure, it could happen. It certainly could happen. Let's take a look at a couple of those altcoins. Let me pick and choose some of the ones that I'm interested in. And I haven't actually looked at these charts too much, so I'll just do some of this analysis live with you all. Let's start with Solana. And actually, I'm actually interested in just having a fresh start on some of these charts now because, yeah, it's always nice to kind of, you know, check your analysis and just make sure that you're kind of still in agreement with yourself. So I'm gonna put a nice little box right here. I'm gonna put another one right here. Yeah, so we got a nice little resistance zone up ahead at about 140. So that's about $8 away from our current price. Let's look below. Do we have anything below us? We've got a nice, very nice area here. I really like this price level. This is the 120 down to 116 price level. Look at all of that. Look at these rejections from the recent price action, this rejection back in 22, and this major support bounce which triggered a 50% rally back in 21. Really nice price area there for Solana. And then, yeah, this is probably one of the best price areas. If we manage to get a more significant price correction, this is what I want to see. I want to see Solana come down here and grab this level. So that's going to be your $75 to $80 price level right there. Let's just move this down a little bit more. I don't see a whole lot of support here. So if we lose 120, it's probably going to be a nice big drop down. These are very nice tradable ranges, you know, like these kind of ranges. You can make a lot of money. you know, kind of trading these gaps. So that's definitely something that I would be interested in. There was a huge Solana offer, the exact same Bitcoin offer, where you guys get a free $500 position. Bybit was running it. Unfortunately, that has now expired. This one will expire too. But you can still get a bunch of free cash to trade Solana. So that's super, super cool. Obviously, these other no KYC alternatives do still provide access to Solana as well. So that's super cool. You know, I do think that if we start losing these levels in big crashes, then we're coming down from much heavier crashes down to much more important support levels. But to the upside, yeah, we've got, you know, this right here, and probably just, yeah, a little bit of losing steam right now, potentially, you know, maybe a bit of a pullback down to a support zone like 120, and then we can start making that, you know, ride back up. And it might, obviously, probably wouldn't take that long if it is going to happen. But yeah, Solana looks pretty good from that perspective. The all-time high was 250, so we'd have to pull a 4 times gain on that all-time high to reach $1,000. Probably doable, yeah. I mean, if we're entering a new kind of market cycle of bullishness right now, then sure, yeah, that's probably doable. It's not where I'd place my bets because I'm just not really an altcoin guy, but I mean, Solana is definitely a strong coin. Let's go through a couple of others, and I think we'll just actually no. Before I do that, I wanted to throw a fib on this chart, so let me do that before I forget again. We're gonna look at this on. We'll keep it linear, and I want to just draw a nice big Fibonacci retracement on this chart. I just want to see if there's any important levels that start showing up. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna draw it this way around. Let's see what we got. Okay, so 618 golden pocket looks interesting, but not game changing. 0.5 level is where we're stuck right now. 382 level is a lot higher at 160, and there is some important price action there, but it's too far away for me to take into account just yet. I'm also going to lower this down to this high right here. And we've broken every key level, so that's very, very cool. And then let's also take one more fib into account, and we're going to do it based off this low right here. So let's go ahead and move this up. Yeah, and we're close to that. This is a nice golden pocket. Yeah, so just some more confluence. I wouldn't read too much into that, but yeah, we're not getting anything crazy on the fib right now. We'll take a quick look at the fixed range volume profile while we're here. Why not? I'm going to move this here and here, just so we can look at this particular price range. So we've got a nice big point of control bang on at $100. We've got the value area high at 170. That's too far away. We've got a nice big spike right where we are now. So this is definitely an important area of resistance for Solana. This might be a sign of if we're getting a lot of bullish sentiment, but we're right up against a strong area. This is the strongest area of resistance Solana has, other than down below $100, basically. You know, if we're getting a lot of bullish sentiment here, then maybe this is, you know, how do you call it? Like unnecessary, like happiness. I've completely lost all of my vocabulary. I don't know what the right word is here. Like you know, undue optimism, should we say? You know, so that could be something which is worth taking into account. Let's look at a couple more altcoins while we're live. Pepe was interesting. Whoa, Pepe's moved up again by 50%. Basically back at its all-time high. Again, this is not a chart that you can analyze, but anybody that bought at any point is up big time. So that's super, super cool. Honestly, the play might just be to find other coins that haven't quite mooned yet. So, you know, Doge might be one of them, but Doge might be a little bit too predictable. Let's revisit our old friend Shiba and see what's going on with Shiba, because Shiba was actually a pretty well-behaved coin in a lot of ways. Yeah, Shiba's got the same kind of setup, but way more upside. Way more. So yeah, we're looking at, you know, a very, very clear zone of resistance right here. But if it gets over this resistance, then there is no support for another minimum 40% rise up, according to what I'm saying. So that would definitely be interesting to see for Shiba if it does manage to clear this level. Let me put an alert on this chart right there just in case. Look at Polkadot while we're here. Not seeing anything crazy. Actually, let's look at some more meme coins, guys. Give me meme coins. I'm very curious to see if there's something here, because this could be a very good play, but only if the market is super optimistic like this. In fact, you could probably say that a lot of the safest gains have gone. Like Pepe had really nice safe gains. Like if you bought at any point in the last year, you've made a fuckload of money. Like literally, like everybody's made money on Pepe. So and it's quick, so that's what makes it nice. I'm interested in seeing if there's anything that hasn't quite popped yet, because that's probably going to be quite an obvious one. But probably I think I think the easy money's probably gone by now, because it's already happened. And I'll be honest, this is not a move that I expected. Usually you go from Bitcoin into the large caps like Ethereum, into the mid caps like Solana. Well, that's still a large cap. And then, into the mid caps, and then, the shit coins and meme coins. But this time it was just Bitcoin straight into meme coins, which is interesting. There's Lady. Yeah, let's look at Lady. That was one of them. We've got a bunch like Titcoin and stuff, don't we? So, that's one that we can take a look at. Yeah, Milady right there. Again, I mean, this is not a good chart. I don't really like this one. It's got a lot more upside, to be fair. If you think it's going to hit the all-time high, and then, for a spot buy, but your downside's so big. Fucking hell, your downside's horrible on this. But if you think we're going up to the old, I don't like this. I think this is a really bad chart, but some fucker's going to buy it. So, fair enough. I guess some stupidity, some level of it is rewarded in this market. Let's see what else we've got here in the live chat. Yeah, a lot of you guys know all the shit coins. Wow. Missed the beginning of the live. Did I go over Shib? That was literally like just now. So, you've probably just seen that. Yeah, let's see some of these. I don't even know these guys. I don't even know a lot of these. That's how proper I feel. I don't even know if Gala is a meme coin, but this is an exciting chart though. Fuck me, why did it die so hard? What the hell? This is a 2,000% pump. Like, yo, moment of silence for the guy that bought up there. $100 have turned into $4, even after this whole pump. Holy shit! What was this move down like to its absolute lowest point? It was 98% down. I mean, it's not easy to be 98% down. Give you guys a sense of perspective. To go from this low up to the current price, the price has pulled a 2.5 times gain. And you're still 96% down. I mean, there's so much of a loss on this chart. Absolutely horrific. Something bad must have happened. But it's not a bad chart. There's some support. There's some resistance kind of peeking into this range. We're clearly at resistance right now, I think. We've got a next nice big block of resistance, probably up toward 5.76 cents. It's got really nice upside if it manages to break, like let's say this level right here at like 7.3. That's where things are going to get really crazy probably if they go anywhere. That's still quite far away. The price would have to double nearly to get there. I'm going to have to revisit this one. So give me this chart again later and I'll take a look at that. Guys, like I said, I don't even know these coins. We've got Dog right here. Let's take a look at Dog. I don't think I can find Dog. Maybe you mean Doge. I think you mean Doge. Let's see Bonk. Bonk was an interesting one. I remember taking a look at that. This is probably a bad chart. Let's go for KuCoin. Yeah, I mean, it looks like all of those easy gains are made now. Like, you really can't. I mean, honestly, but the thing is like the crashes would be so intense that this coin actually has a really nice potential bounce zone. To me, that bounce zone is going to be, and actually the VPVR would probably tell us. Let's see what the VPVR says. Okay, it says there's a bounce zone here and another one here. So I don't think we're going to come down to this one, but let's put that on the chart anyway. And I think that this is probably, the bounce zone that would be a buy on this coin. And again, I mean, this would probably be a wick considering how far away it is. But meme coins, because they move up like this, they can definitely move down, quite catastrophically as well. So, you'd love to see a kind of retracement like this. Honestly, it doesn't look that bad for a buy. I'm just gonna send this over in the team. I'm probably not going to trade this. I don't really trade stuff like this, but you know, it's interesting. I think I'm done with meme coins for a second. I feel like my IQ is dropping a little bit, ladies and gents. Thanks for the shout out. You're very welcome, dude. Grok, yeah, you guys were talking about Grok a little bit. Again, I don't know what Grok we're talking about though. Is this Twitter's Grok or something? It's clearly not Twitter's Grok, is it? It's pumping right now. Yeah, it is. It is pumping right now. I mean, it's at macro resistance, isn't it? You know, quite serious macro resistance. This is not a chart I'd be buying, man. You gotta be very desperate to be buying charts like this. Perpetual Prince, lol. Yeah, I can't mess with the meme coins. Yeah, dude, it's not easy, man. It's not easy to kind of be in this world of shit coins. It's meme coins even. Really grinds you down if you've built mental resilience in your life. I think I'm done. I'm done with these. We're getting too many. So yeah, let's wrap that up. If we've got more kind of general questions, thoughts, specific things you want me to go through, if there's a chart that you want me to look at, then feel free to send it to me now on Telegram and I will pull it up on stream. You can reach me directly using this link in the description. This is my free Telegram channel as well. If there's something specific you want me to go through, then definitely do that. Of course, you've got phenomenal offers available as well. Bybit giving you up to 30K. Of course, you have to do KYC if you've signed up using my link. Otherwise, you're not going to get anything. So definitely pause the stream now and take care of that if you want those beautiful bonuses. And you are getting $500 free Bitcoin position on Bybit as well, which is phenomenal. Linked down below, so definitely take a look at that if you like free money to trade with. And these two are phenomenal no KYC alternatives, so you've also got that available for you. Yeah, if we've got any final questions, I'm going to be taking them now. Otherwise, thank you all for tuning in, ladies and gents. It's been another phenomenal live stream. We've smashed 300 likes. Yeah, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one if we don't have much to go through. I'm just gonna give anybody that wants a couple minutes to 1 or 2 more minutes to send me anything they need to send. We've got a very cool profit from one of our VIP members that I think you're probably watching this stream. I'm not gonna say a name, but shout out to this guy. Let me see if I can pull it up on screen. Can I? No, I can't. Well, hang on. Let me see if this works. Yeah, right here, this is one of our VIP members pulling an 800% profit on Solana. That's a brilliant entry, bro. Good job. Very, very cool indeed. This guy does this, quite well. Here's the screenshot that he showed me last year in December. So that is super, super cool. Shout out to this guy. Like I said, I won't say your name, but very, very cool indeed. Milady's going off right now, is it? Let's take a look. If it's going off, may as well take a quick look at it. It is going off, isn't it? Yeah. But why? Is it because the rest of the market is going off, or are meme coins just being a meme coin? Yeah, honestly, I think, coins like this, if we start to get retracements down to levels like this, that's actually what would be interesting to me. It's not that hard to pull that off as well, is it? Like 35% down for a fucking meme coin. Like, of course it'll happen in like 2 hours if it's gonna happen. I asked if you still own Casta. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. Pretty sure. I'd have to check, but I'm pretty sure. All right, ladies and gents, I am going to get going. Thank you all very much for tuning into this live stream. If you have enjoyed it, do me a favor and smash those likes up. Double check that you're subscribed and all that good stuff. You've got phenomenal offers available down below. Make sure you've done your KYC for Bybit if you want those huge bonuses. This is definitely the best exchange in the game. If you want this free $500 position, but you've already signed up to Bybit, before you met me, you can use this form on the link, and that's going to transfer you. And if you've been referred to Bybit by somebody else, another YouTuber or whatever, you can make a new account and just resubmit KYC, and you'll be good to go. Some brilliant alternatives, direct contact to me and my free Telegram channel right here, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Feels like a Cardano breakout. All right, you guys are keeping me on stream for a sec. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, I'm not seeing that just based off this personally. Cardano's chart is so difficult to work with right now. Fucking hell. This is a very hard chart to read. But yeah, actually, good point. Good point. This is definitely breakout potential. But I don't see it happening without the rest of the market. Honestly, it's potentially more fake out potential. That's what I would say. All right, ladies and gents, thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you all in the next one.